Couple of really cool World War I frame posters, other neat artwork and posters. Look at this over here, printed on tin. Oh yeah. Some jewelry and political stuff and photos, some gold and silver, all this fun stuff. Up here, postcards and more. Coin books, other coins. These are like old ass communion tokens. Uh-oh. Signs, BB guns, all sorts of fun stuff up here. I love this piece of art. More information on that in a bit. This whole wall is filled up with autograph stuff. Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, Wayne Gretzky, baseball people, all that. It's gonna be fun. A lot of like brand new vintage Carhartts and more. Oh, this is pretty cool. All these car placards on a board. And then it looks like there's some, like bike license plates, and cigarette cards. There's some lanterns. There's more cigarette cards over there. If you're from Kansas City, especially, I guess, eastern Kansas City, you know about Stevenson's. Nothing too special here, but kind of neat. Local history stuff. And back on these shelves, we have all kinds of radios and radio equipment, radio communications equipment, generators, testers, scopes, receivers, transceivers, all that stuff. Then over here, there's even more. Maybe if you're a gearhead, you'll like digging around in these boxes. And more over here. Tools too. More tools over here. Power tools and stuff. A little bit of furniture. A lot of like pretty old books. A lot of religious, and then a whole lot of like British World War I related, and there's some presidential stuff in there too. Boxes of vinyl records. Megan says there's good stuff in there. All that and more coming up in this week's auction. Woo, Chab! Hello folks, welcome to the preview video for this week's auction. This week the auction will be December 4th, 2025. We're located at 1801 Gwinnett Street in Kansas City, Missouri. We're in the East Bottoms, just east of City Market, River Market, whatever you want to call it. Kind of by the new soccer stadium and Rieger and Bally's and all that stuff. Auction night, doors open at 5, auction starts at 6, and every Wednesday we do a preview from 11 to 1. Come in, take a look around and all that good stuff. Hey, make sure you're subscribed to the channel, and please like and share and comment and all that stuff. Really helps us out. So yeah, this is pretty cool. Originally I had said that this was painted, but it is printed, you know, somehow onto this piece of tin, piece of metal, you know, some kind of like graph, lithograph, seriograph, I don't know all that, but you know, it's not pixelated or anything like that. So quadruple turbine SS Imperator, 50,000 tons, 1913, Hamburg American line. A bunch of dates on there. 1911 there. Yeah, pretty cool. And this piece is really nice. There's some information. Nope. Neat, nice little seascape there. And I'll just go ahead and jump over here and show you these World War I posters. I believe them to be authentic. I think Vaughn did too. You can tell somebody's had them tacked up, and then you can kind of see the paper. You're not going to be able to see that there, but anyway, come check them out. And then there's some other stuff in here. Shipbuilding, more ships, naval escort. So I guess there's 3 different consigners over there. We'll try to keep that clear. I'm just gonna keep going this way. Artwork. And yeah, we didn't have an auction last week. Thanksgiving. Be good to see everybody and get some money in the freaking bank. Postcards. Well, he's a leaky boy there. Sorts of crazy stuff in here. There's a little bit of gold in there and some silver, I think. A lot of buttons. Looks like maybe fraternal stuff. Maybe some political. Gibson book, #1. It's, getting kind of loose. I'm not going to go flipping through it. I hope you handle it with care if you do. These are wild. I'd never really, I don't think, seen them or noticed, but they're like communion tokens, or first communion, maybe something like that. 1810. Old pieces. I don't know how they'll do. Just like anything, you look them up and you don't have like hours to commit to it. You kind of see them all over the board. There's some silver dimes and quarters and stuff. These, like this book was empty. That's kind of taped to there, which is probably a horrible idea. But those are some old ones. And then, like these. They're worn and everything, but Barber half, Walkers, Barber quarters, silver quarter. Kind of the same. Come down and look. Like some ammo, pistol belt, BB gun, saw, black powder stuff. All these knives, China, I think, but still Remington, and the sleeve stocking stuffer that you can actually sneak in there and your family doesn't automatically know that you just got it from an auction. Jewelry, bookends, those are freaking heavy. These were, what did it say? London, 1941. Something led me to believe that was a piece. House of Parliament. I don't know what if it's actually made. Comics, out of stuff. Let's see, #9. Probably need to look at that one. Anytime, like I get a woman's watch, a silverback, Don't even worry about it. Women's watch. The gold back. It says something down there. But if it has gold back, then you should give it another look. My old friend Mia taught me that. Mia of Myron and Mia fame. Richard Nixon memoirs. Proof sets. More of these like lead ships. She taught me that like a long freaking time ago. And I probably should have known it then, but Mia was our very first clerk. More artwork. A couple auto harps. Looks like there's some knives. This is a local artist, the guy who consigned it said that she drew it. It was a friend of his. And then I think what it was is he painted, and the friend painted that shipscape painting, but I think she was his art, I don't know. If you go right to the side, you can kind of see his face, but you really can't. I just think it's badass. Like, from a design, standpoint or whatever, and then, like, subject matter, and then Barbara Freets, Frets, F-R-E-T-S, 1929, still alive, Raytown, Mid-America Alliance, KC Municipal Art Grant, First Prize American Artist Magazine, Southwest Art and American Art, Kansas City Art Collection, Spencer Museum of Art, and then, like, there's her address she wrote up there and everything. He said her artwork sells for $500 to $1,500, which I think that this should do. Even down here through our humble little auction. All right, and back here, boom! Look at all that. It's almost overwhelming. Sports stuff. Look at the photos. I think Chad got the COAs, if there was one on them, that are on the back. I'm not going to be able to do that with the camera now. Michael Jordan, freaking Larry Bird, freaking another Michael Jordan. Cards. I don't think. I think at least one. I saw 1, 2, 3 are signed. So you want to go through that. Freaking Vince Lombardi. I don't know who that is. Somebody starts with a B and then a D last name. I know who that is. Joe DiMaggio. And some of them are just like sports things like that. George Brett. Garen. So hopefully, my friends, you're going to come out and buy this stuff. And let's see. Ted Williams. Of course, no Babe Ruth on there. I want to say maybe it was some kind of corporate collection or something like that. I don't even know. Then I just went in fog. Oh, there's a Carhartt. That's a crazy one. Ooh. Okay. Let's see. We'll go over here. I'll just show you these. These are probably going to go later, but I think these all had USA tags on them. The Jayhawks. Those were cool. think that hat was a Wrangler. Cigarette cards, more cigarette cards to come. Those lanterns, I'll get to those later. I want to hit these. Those will be scooted up front for sure. Goodyear Eagle. Ski-Doo. Easter Bunny. These were, I still have the tag. I want to say early 90s on those. Silver tabs. I don't know when those were, but it doesn't have like slick tags in there. Land Rover with a Land Rover tag. Carhartt, all but brand new. Oh yeah. This is also the vest, snowsuit, coveralls, insulated coveralls, another jacket, just crispy. So, people should like that. There are 3 48-star flags. We need to show you too much of that, what a 48-star flag is. All right, we'll get over here. And so I think the guy on the motorcycle is the guy who painted this, just from talking to the guy at his house. Nice Western with the bales. You know, there's a crack right there, not just a hairline. That kind of stuff. I think there's going to be some cool toys over here. It seems like these are like, even though they're in the boxes, I think they were bought, I'm going to say 90s. I guess I don't know for sure, but that's just a feeling that I get. What's the impression that I get? These Westerns are pretty freaking neat. Fisher 45s, I'd say probably from the 70s to 90s in there. A bunch of Francoma, those mirrors, some sports stuff there. Nice camera. Canon, was that a Rebel? EOS. This could be a good killer box. I think these are all like Star Wars and toys, hallmarks. All right, these are cool. So when you take them down, be careful because they're gonna start like molting a bit. I don't know what to tell you about how to fix that. They look good hanging up. But yeah, we took them down and it was like, whoa. So we'll just sell that whole, what's that, Sansui? Classic T470. Okay, so that looks like fun over there. I think there's another like tuner amp over there, a CD player or something. It's a cool old sled. Nice pairs of binoculars. More toys. Marbles. More toys in bags over here. Some of these might be, I'm sure it was Vaughn or Chad that did those. I don't know if Vaughn saw them. Vaughn really is good at that stuff. Advertising. Looks like more advertising. John Mannion. Just kidding. If you know, you know. And quite a bit of comics this go round. I think this is a buy. There was a time when we'd get like 10, 20 bucks out of a set, but that time's not here anymore. So better luck to you. Oh, super old. Super old. All this kind of stuff, you know, of course I don't like it. Should we sell it or not? You know, I'd say no if I haven't been doing this so long, and you know, knowing that the black folks buy a lot of that stuff, collect it or freaking burn it. You know, you do whatever you want with it. Tear it up, throw it in the trash before you even leave here. That'd be fine with me. Again, it's just another shitty freaking part of history of asshole humans being total assholes to each other. There's Chab. Okay, we'll zip along over here. These are some fun little boxes of stuff. Again, look at the pictures. Gonna be easier to tell what's going on, and of course come down for preview. Neat, it's neat old stuff. Nothing like wowing me out of the park or anything, but there's neat old stuff in there for sure. Nice big juicy flats. An old Mizzou, old logo. This is turntable. And then yeah, this guy freaking was crazy about who's on there. Lloyd camera. Here, I'm gonna get to that in a minute. So this political kind of stuff. Don Beto. Crazy ass Don Beto fan. More Don Beto autographs. I don't even know who that is really until I had to look it up. But so a lot of like religious books, old hymn books and things like that. Some of them pretty old. David Lloyd George. He's the Prime Minister of Great Britain before Churchill, or like World War I anyway. I mean, it's like everywhere. I'm sure it's fascinating, but looking for a special person. So yeah, just a lot of books. If you're wanting books, I guess look at the pictures, call, ask questions if you're trying to leave an absentee, because it's just hard to show you everything. You just need to come down and look. So I'll jump over here. Really interesting stuff on this table too. Real kind of hodgepodge mismatch of stuff. Yep, all right. Yeah, hopefully I'm not far behind you here. Shouldn't be. Okay, Playboys by year, kind of bagged up. I just like sliced them open so you could see what you're getting at. So I'm kind of feeling that after this table, we're going to jump back. Pretty sure that's how we'll go in the auction. I'm trying to do better of deciding that ahead of time. Nice. A bunch of tools, all seem to be pretty clean. Feel free to come down, plug them in, all that, as long as you know what you're doing. Kind of a neat piece. I don't know what that is, like church or something. Then back here, like ramps, freaking stainless steel shelves, never even put together. Laundry Pure by Echo Quest. I imagine it's like a filter, water filter for your laundry. Like, you know, wallet. These are all Old Navy black t-shirts. Size small, I think. Some of that litter. For the, you know, those one kind of machines. Brand new stuff there. Here's a buffet. Here's the dining room table and chairs. I sure hope somebody buys this. You gotta fix one of the chairs. That tall boy, or high boy. There. Furniture is hard. So here we get into kind of this radio and automotive kind of stuff. First time the guys brought the stuff down, you know, so you never really know what's going to happen because it's an auction, right? But he's, you know, going to kind of learn. He's got barns full of stuff. So hopefully, you know, he's not upset about how it does. Hopefully it does well for him, I should say. I'm sure some things will, some things won't. So isn't that the way it goes? That's kind of cool. Piece of ham there. I don't know what that is. Motor. Then these, like, lots of radio things, gauges and dials and complete pieces. And I mean, if this is your thing, what's that? That is our AM FM radio. And you might find some, I don't know, if this is your thing, you should come down because you might find something that you like in here. But those vices are nice, the jacks. This is a hospital bed. He said it works just fine. Obviously, you know, we can't, for what it's probably going to sell for, we can't get into putting it all together. But, I mean, if you need one, they're freaking expensive. And, you know, almost didn't take it from him, old radio cabinet. But, I don't know, I feel bad because they are expensive. And if somebody needs one, has a sick loved one, then they can get it down here. Probably not much money. Okay, I'm gonna move back here. More of this kind of stuff. And there's some primitive, you know, like I said, they've got barns full of this stuff. So I'd like for them to keep bringing things, you know, some things. See what else they have in there. But I need your help. You know, when the radio stuff has come such a long way from when a lot of this was made, but this stuff looks freaking cooler. So yeah, you know, so maybe some of this will speak to somebody. It usually does. And then let's see, kind of more of his stuff here, getting away from the radio stuff. There are more tools and camping stuff, some military. What this is, some sort of rigged lineman's deal, I guess. You know, field phones. Field phones are cool. This, what that does. That should be a good box of tubes there. Sort of buffing wheel. All right, let's just run it this way. What was that, CD changer or something? This, I don't understand what this is here for. I think that they probably meant to take this to a thrift store. But I mean, the cleaning out this person's house was such a freaking job. I mean, it had hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of boxes. So we'll see what it does. I mean, there's price tags on that stuff. All right. But if you're interested in that, check it out. I think the kind of bigger sizes, from what I gathered. We're almost finished, you guys, with all your stuff if you're watching the video. I don't know if they watch anymore. We're almost to the end of it. It's been fun. There's going to be some good vintage Christmas stuff in here too. This is the same person that had Christmas Explosion every week. But you know, there's some in every pallet we undo. I think we're like super close to being done. Some of these are pretty old. Dolls are tough. Elephants. People collect the hell out of elephants. Good thing to have in your booth. You know, people know somebody that collects elephants or collect elephants, or elephants are pretty neutral. You know, as people go out, they want to buy something, you know. I'm a freaking $7.50 elephant. This is cool. You're not going to be able to see from the glare, but they're catching catfish like crazy. Huge ones. They must have been by a dam. This guy, this picture, Vaughn said it means something like crime related. Like if you hold your hands this way, you're going to get it this way. There's a warning. I don't know if he knows what he's talking about or not. This guy's got tattoos on his hand. This guy doesn't, is what I took from it. I don't even want to know. And how the hell would Vaughn know? Okay, so here, World War II helmet, World War I, canteen, some sort of like Canadian or British, something to do with the Navy, books, patterns, more books, more military, scout, these were the Stevenson stuff. Did I already show you this? Oh, that was the intro. So I'm not gonna take this out now, but they've got like a steak in there. It's like $4.50. That is quite a jump in inflation. Was a long time ago, but more of these like stamp displays and cigarette cards, and probably going to be more cigarette cards and stuff in here. University of Waco, Colorado. Huh. Somebody ought to do is have themselves an online auction on an online auction website. Just kidding. I think there's somebody already doing that on I can't remember the name of it now. What's it called? It's probably what I should be doing too, but here I am. But let's see what I was saying. Oh yeah, from Stevenson's. Apple Orchard, if you're from Kansas City, you know what's up. You know, you're familiar with these kind of signs if you ever went there with your grandma. Let's see, probably not a ton of money there, but you know, I don't see them thrown in the trash. So, you know, you can look at the bottom of these Colemans and see what date they are. Well, it looks like Vaughn put those out. He'll write on them if it's something, you know. See, I showed you that stuff. If it's, you know, from 40s, 50s usually, so. But I don't know, maybe those are. So then over here, a bunch of rusty old cast iron, but as you know, that can be restored nicely. You're gonna have to come in and look to see if there's Griswold and stuff. That's crazy. If you watch videos of guys redoing it, they hook like a battery charger to copper or something and put some like salt and water, baking soda or something in there and sink them down in there and zaps all that stuff off of them. That's more than I want to take on. Uh-oh, somebody better check that out. Doesn't sound like silver. More of the doll variety here. Whoa. But yeah, that's it. It'll be good to see everybody again. Thank you so much for all of your support. Every time we take a week off, it's, you know, it's rough. So hopefully you can come down. We have to do it again over Christmas. And, you know, rent's going up, all that good stuff. So I really appreciate all the support that you've all given us over the years. And we will see you Wednesday for preview, Thursday at the auction.